Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we will be learning about the problems or mistakes we face when machine learning models are in production. So because of these mistakes or the problems, the complete project can be fail. So let's see what are the problems we face and how we can solve them. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first we need to understand that machine learning projects are not same as non-machine learning projects. Okay, let's consider an example. So let's consider a project where you just write some code to create a calculator. So it can do any number of operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, whatever. So it can perform n number of operations. So it can work in the next month as well. It can do operations in next month, next year, or 10 years later as well, because it is not exposed to the real world where the changes may occur. But that doesn't affect the calculator project. But when you consider machine learning models, these machine learning models completely interact with the real world, and the real world is changing rapidly over time. So these machine learning projects also should focus on the changes. So it need to change itself as well whenever the real world is changing over time. So we need to know that machine learning projects are completely different from the non-ML projects. So okay, uh, first before going into the before considering machine learning models in the production, but mostly like 87% of the projects fail to get into the production. So let's see what are the problems they face, why they can't make their machine learning projects into the production. So the first issue is like not enough expertise. Like they don't have enough experienced people who can handle the business requirements correctly and create the machine learning models uh, that is correctly uh, do what the requirements need. So we need to have a good experienced candidates. It can be in anything. It can be in data scientists, it can be machine learning engineers, data analyst, or software engineers, IT operations team. So we need to have the experienced people who can handle all the things. And there is a lot of gap between the data scientist and the traditional software development. So we need to bridge that gap so they can seamlessly work together to make these machine learning projects into production. So we need to bridge that gap also. And the data in your model will always be slightly wrong, yes, because we are considering real world data, and that real world data may not be perfect every time. So there can be a number of problems in the data as well. The data is missing, the features are not that good to predict the output, or maybe because of the requirements we are getting wrong data. So there will be a lot of things while considering the quality of the data. So we need to ensure the data is enough quality, having enough quality to create the models on top of that. So uh, we need to check the quality of the data every time. And projects are like too complex, or too simpler projects, but we are trying to implement complex models on that, or too simpler models on that. So we need to think what are the right models we need to fit uh, into that data. But we also need to think that we cannot solve every problem uh, using machine learning. So it cannot happen every time. So we need to first understand whether that problem can be solved using machine learning or not. If not, but you're trying, you're just wasting your time. So you need to answer all these questions before you try to build the models and making it into production. And no confidence in the models built. Like we don't have enough confidence. Like we build a model which can predict the output with 95% accuracy, but still we are not confident enough that okay, these can make mistakes in the production, and the business value can go down. But so we will be in a continued loop, trying to improve the performance of the models. So we should not be in that loop. So one thing what we can do is like build the baseline model, uh, put that in the production, and get the feedback from the production, so you can improve over time. So if you are just in a loop of improving the performance, you never make it into the production. So create the baseline model and push that into the production and get the feedback from the real users, and you can improve the performance. So that is one way you can do that. And we may also face a lot of issues while integrating these machine learning models with the existing systems. Like it is a complex process where we integrating uh, the newly created ML models into the complete new existing system. So it is a complex thing. We also need a lot of IT team, experienced IT team who can handle all these things. If you don't have them, then it is really difficult to integrate that into the existing systems, and you never make that into the production. And the other issue is like taking an ML model from a desktop POC, let's say your local systems or Jupyter notebooks, and to running in production, which implies like massive continuous effort. So you'll be developing the newly developed models completely in your local Jupyter notebooks, and you want to try to take that into the production. So it is like continuous effort. You'll be creating, you'll be testing there, and you'll be passing these trained models to some IT team who can deploy it on a server or anything and create a REST API for that. So it's like a continuous effort. Everything you need to do manually. You need to create models, you need to test it, you need to pass that to some IT team, and they try to uh, push that into this server or some other cloud services, and they try to create the REST APIs and make that available in the product, available to the users. So it is there will be a lot of continuous effort over there. So we need to automate that process. And it's difficult to update models, yes, because if you just consider traditional software programs, you don't get much update. You don't need to update a lot of times of that software system. uh, you'll be you'll be updating your systems irregularly. So but when you come to machine learning, uh, whenever you deploy a model, and you will be facing a lot of issues after deploying that. Okay, I'll explain all these things in the next slides. But it is really hard to update the models. I'll also explain why it is really hard. And lack of leadership team. So if you don't have enough people who can lead the team, so they can also be failing to complete the projects and make the available project into the production. And there are a lot of other reasons why they cannot make the ML projects into the production. These are like a sample list of reasons why they can make, but there are a number of reasons for that. So let's see. Like I'll just explain why it is difficult to update models here. So changing anything like changes everything. So if you consider this image here, so when you just consider traditional software in software problems, there will be only one thing, that is code. But when you consider machine learning based applications, we'll be having three things: data, model, and code. If you change any of these pipelines, you need to change everything. So let's say you change something in your traditional software application, and whenever the change occurs, it rebuilds the application and push that into the production. So in the same way here as well, any trigger like the data change can trigger the build, or the model change can trigger the build, or code change can trigger the build. So or it can be the combination of any of these things. So so you need to understand like this is completely different from the traditional software. So uh, I'll explain few use cases where we can expect a change in any of these pipelines. So I'll just explain a few use cases. Let's take the first example. Like after deploying these machine learning models into your systems, like we might recognize that as time goes by, the model starts to decay, or it will not behave normally. So what we need to do is like we need to get the new data, and we need to check why the model is failing, and we need to retrain our machine learning models. And and that is one use case where we can consider retraining our models. So that is one case where we need to have a change in the machine learning models. So let's consider another use case. Like after examining the available data, like you faced, okay, there is a decay in the machine learning models, and you got an in you you're just checking the new data. So you might recognize that it's difficult to get the data needed to solve the problem we previously defined. So what we will be doing here, we need to reformulate the problem. So we'll go completely back into the business requirements, and we try to reformulate it and try to get new data which is required. So that may be one case. So okay, let's see another case. Um, let's say in any of the stage of this machine learning workflow, we might just go back in the process and either collect more data or collect different data and relabel training data. So this can also trigger to retrain the machine learning models with the new data, because we may face some issue at any point in the workflow, data pre-processing or feature engineering, or model training. So we can face a problem anywhere. So when we face these problems, we just go back to the business requirements or a data quality analysis. We try to analyze everything, and after analyzing everything, we may think we need new data or we need new features. So when we get all this new data or new features, we again trigger the model building. So we train to get the new model, and we try to push that into the production. And we can see another use case like after serving the model to the end users, uh, you might recognize that assumptions we made for training the model are wrong. So we might think something while we're training the model, but it doesn't work out in the real world. So we again need to change our model or data. Or let's consider a final use case. Sometimes the business objective might change while while in the project development phase or in the building the model phase. The business objectives might change because your client will be continuously changing the requirements according to their users. So every time there is a different business objective or there is a change in the requirements, you need to change your model, or you need to change your data or the continuous pipeline code. So these are the places where we can expect the change uh, in any of these three phases. So whenever we see a new change, the it again triggers the build. So it again builds everything, and we can push that into the production. So it's not that easy because changes can occur from anywhere. But when you just consider the traditional software, we know it is not working somewhere where we'll change that one. But these machine learning based models are like we face some unknown places. Like we get a change from unknown places. It can be data, it can be model, or it can be code, anything. So uh, this is what simple thing about like changing anything changes everything. So uh, I'll just explain the other problems which we face while the model is in production. So the first problem is like model drift. Uh, as I already explained in the previous slides, like whenever we make the model in production, the model behave abnormally over the time, uh, because these models are exposed to the real world. And as I said, like real world will be changing rapidly, so we need to adapt to those changes. So let's take an example of ad classification models, in which preferences change over time, because our behavior changes over time. So the ad preferences also will be changing over time. So in these kind of use cases, we need to update the model uh, every day or every week. So, but when you consider like sentiment analysis, uh, you can rebuild your models once in 6 months or once a year, because most of the times like English grammar or sentences will not change it rules, right? So so these are like examples where the model drift can occur, and how you can uh, when you can consider the uh, to retrain your model. I mean, it also completely depends on your business use case when to retrain your models continuously. So it completely depends. So this is one problem. It can occur when the model is in production. So the problem two is like data quality, the incoming data quality. While making the predictions or while we retraining the model, we need to completely check the quality of the data, because these machine learning models are built on data, and they are very sensitive to the semantics or amount and the completeness of the incoming data. So we always need to check the quality of the data before training the models. So this is the problem number 2. And when we come to the problem number 3, it is like environment changes. So when we transferring ML models to new business customers, these models will have been pre-trained on different user demographics, or their data might not work correctly according to quality metrics. So let's say you train, so you are a owner of a company and you trained your model completely on Indians, like let's say Indian people behaviors and their demographics and the complete data. You trained a model completely on Indian people. But when you want to expand your business, so you're just going into European nation or United States, with the same model you trained on Indians will not work perfectly, because their demographic is different and their behavior will be different from the Indians. So you need to continuously monitor that one. Like if you want to expand, you need to get the data according to that environment, and you need to train the models so uh, it can predict the output correctly based on the given data. So you need to consider this problem as well. So how we can solve all the above problems, because as I said, if we need to change something, we need to change everything. And mostly we will be doing everything manually. Like we get the data, we manually run the scripts to pre-process or check the quality, build the models, and push that to some IT team, and they will be pushing that into the production. So all this will be done manually. But uh, when you want to reduce all this manual work and release the models faster, because if you do everything manually, the release cycle will be slow. But when you want to make it faster, you need to automate all the things, because these AI or ML applications is expanding to every domain or every industry, where they are just building successful ML projects. It remains as a challenging task. So so there is a need to establish effective practices and process around designing or building or deploying ML models into the production. So we need a concept called ML ops. So uh, I'll explain what is ML ops in the next videos. Like we'll be considering everything regarding the ML ops, and what is the difference between the current DevOps and the ML ops, and how to implement that. So we'll be seeing a lot of practical sessions as well, with code or with using any of the tools. So this is, I'm not just explaining theory, but if you want to do something, you also need to learn theory first. So I'm trying to explain that first, and later go into the practical part. So hope you understand, and thanks for watching till now. And if you're a new if you're a new to our channel, please do subscribe and hit that bell icon. And if you like it, please like and comment below or subscribe. And thank you so much.